Hi everyone, I'm Deanne from Newfoundland, Canada. Welcome to my Flosstube channel, Stitching on the Rock. We are at episode 72. I'm just gonna slide myself over a little bit. I'm not quite centered. It's Easter Sunday. Happy Easter if you celebrate. Welcome if you're new to my channel. Please subscribe and like the video if you haven't, and if you're a new subscriber, thank you so much. And everyone else, welcome back. This is the very short life update. My life updates last about 3 minutes because I have no life. Like I said, it's Easter Sunday. Aaron's at his dad's for the weekend, my son. So I'm going to my sister's for supper. We're foregoing the traditional roast turkey and, well, we are going to have turkey, but we're having cold plates instead of like all the cooked vegetables and all of that stuff. So I made a pasta salad yesterday, which I'm sure turned out okay because it's pretty easy to follow that recipe. I also baked an apple tort, which I'm not 100% sure is going to be great. The recipe is mine. I originally started making them. Then my mom kind of started making them and I kind of stopped making them. So it's been a few years and I have a new stove I got this past year. So we'll see how it turned out. But I'm looking forward to it, yeah. And that's about all I no. Aaron got his term 2, term 3. I don't know. He got a report card last week. He did really good. You know, he's got a couple of A's, a B, a couple of B's, and a couple of C's that are just on that edge of being B's. Hopefully before the end of the year, he'll pull them up into B's. But overall, he's got a 78.5 average, which for a kid that's on the spectrum with ADHD, it's awesome. Not much else happened. He went to the dentist last week. His wisdom teeth are starting to show up, which, yeah, 99.9% of people have to have them out. So we'll see how that goes. We're taking him this week because he's off to get a suit for his graduation. Wow. Can't believe that. What else? I got our weather is crappy. Yeah, we'll get a really nice day, and then we'll have 5 rainy, snowy, cold days, and then we might get another nice day, which you will see by my temperature chart when I get to it. What else has been going on? I think that's about it, you know. Life is boring. I'm just waiting to be able for it to be warm enough to get out into my flower gardens and yard, but it's just if it's warm, it's raining. If not, it's cold and windy. So yeah, spring in Newfoundland, yay! So I think that's everything with life that I can think of. I did slightly mention about my nephew in the last video, which I wasn't really supposed to tell you, but I can tell you now because he's posted in his little Facebook page that his surgery for his kidney transplant is booked for the 4th of June. If there's a cancellation, he will get in on the 21st of May. Yay, he has a live donor. A lady read his original post on Facebook, decided that she had to go and get tested, and perfect match. So he is getting it done in Edmonton at the University Hospital in Edmonton. She can go home after a day or two. He will have to stay for follow-up tests and things like that. So fingers crossed everything goes well and they'll be able to come home next year for a visit. And that's life. On to the stitching. If you're new, I'll tell you. If you're old, you can forward 10 seconds that I am turning 55 next year, so I'm starting 55 projects this year. Did I say that I'm turning 55 next year? I'm turning 55 next month. I don't know. Blah, blah, blah. And so I divide what I show you into pre-2025 whips and 2025 whips, just for my brain to be able to handle it. I only worked on 2 previous start whips, and everything else is this year, and there isn't a whole lot altogether because I kind of felt burnt out this week, but I still have a pile of stuff to show you. So first up, River's Edge by Kevin Daniel for Heaven to Dine. This is what it's going to look like when it's done. This is for my son to hopefully finish this year. We'll see. I haven't been working on it a lot. I haven't. Last video I was in the middle of the focus on a finish weekend for Whip Warriors, and I always work on this one. So since you saw it last, I put in another 325 stitches. I got 1,005 I think done in total. I'm at 31.68%. It's done 1/1 on 28 count lichen gray. Here is where we are in total. Like I said, I don't usually can tell you where I worked because I just pick a thread and stitch and then pick a different thread and stitch. So I'm not really doing like columns, rows, cross gun. I'm not really doing much of any kind of plan with it. I'm just stitching. I did notice that this corner down here needs some love, so I think next time I pick it up I'm gonna work down here and see if we can get something done in that corner. So here is where we are. It originally was going to be a graduation gift. Now I'm aiming for a Christmas gift. Now I'm just aiming to get to finish it. It won't be framed this year. I know I told you guys that my framer is not in a parking friendly area of town, and so I have to park in a parking lot attached to a city park that's about 2 or 3 blocks away and walk. So I need it to be at least 16 or 18 degrees to do that. And so I still have my sunflower that I haven't taken down. So when I take that one down and get it framed this spring, the River's Edge probably won't be taken down this year to get framed, but I'm still hoping to get it stitched by the end of the year. So next up, I also told you that for the Whip Go numbers, one of them that was called was a challenge of getting 1% of a piece done, and I spun my wheel and I got Warm at Home by Irina Garmashoff, again, for Heaven and Earth Design. It's going to look like this. So far I have 226 of the 686 stitches I need to get done. So I need to get at this week. So here is where we are. It's stitched 1/1 on 28 count ivory. All my stitches that I've put in lately have been 310. They've all been put in this kind of area, so that's where the rest of them will be put in. I'm at 13.78% on this one. There we go. So those were the two pre-2025 pieces that I worked on. Just notice that this is on the Q-snap a bit squished. Just going to fix it before I get back at it, hopefully today or tomorrow. So next up are my new starts for this year and what I've been working on. So first up is my temperature chart, which is by Climbing Goat Designs on Etsy, and I have a bunch of things that I've written down that I have to link in my description for today's video. It probably won't be done today, or maybe after I get home after supper I'll get that part done. So this is this one. That because I'm stitching it 2/2 on 28 count linen that is very see-through. Here is where we are so far, and up so you guys can see. So obviously I worked on this since you've seen it last. I'll just fold it up so you guys can see up close what I've worked on. So here's the section that I have worked on. And I'm done up to I think Monday. No, 16th maybe. So you can see we've kind of been all over the place. We had a bit of consistency here in our temperatures. I think those are evening temperatures. But other than that, it's been a couple of nice days, a couple of okay days and a couple of cold days. So yeah, it's been Newfoundland spring is, it's snow one day and 15 degrees the next, so it's never dull. But it's fun to watch all the different colors come in, but it's also a bit tedious because you do like 5 stitches in one color and 6 stitches in a different color, and you might do 2 days and then the first color is back again. But it's really like it's a difficult pattern to think, oh well, I'll stitch these and park, because you don't know if you're gonna be able to park the color, because like let me see, like this darker teal is down here, it's the same color, but you don't know that it's gonna end up down there. So yeah, it's a lot of stitching and cutting, but that's okay. I don't know that I will ever do another one. I picked that one to do because Aaron, well, I was doing the 55 starts, so it's cool to have a record of the year that I'm doing the 55 starts, plus Aaron is turning 18 and graduating high school, so it was, a fun thing to have a record of that year. Maybe the year he graduates college, I'll do another one. Who knows? And then I was trying to figure out, chatting with a friend on what I was going to do with it once it was done, because it's probably not something I'm going to frame and hang on the wall. But I thought I could like turn it into a project bag, interface the back of it, and sew strips. Even the bag that I have it in. This bag, I have some of this fabric left, so I could sew strips of this, or find a space one that had a not black background but a different color background, and sew the strips around it and turn it into the front of a project bag. Anyway, we'll see. So that's my temperature chart. So next up was Hugs and Kisses, which by Primrose Cottage, which was the piece I was working on in my last video, and I have completed it. So I have an FFO, or an FO, sorry, not an FFO. I actually think I know how I'm going to FFO it, if I can find the right thing to complete it. It was a quick, cute little stitches done 2/2 on 28 count. I think it's Blue Glass Monaco it's called. But yeah, that was a lot of fun to do. Then my cheat piece for my last video that I started everybody was starting it when I went to the Nash Stash Startathon that Lindy Stitches had a few weeks ago. Everybody was starting new pieces, obviously, and I didn't buy any market pieces this year because I had all these things that I'm starting, but I was itching to start something along with everybody else, so I pulled out Plum Street Always Remember, and it was supposed to be my start on the following Wednesday, but I started that Friday, and I stitched pretty much constantly on this for a week. I'm not a monogamous stitcher, but I just wanted to get as much progress done in the week I was working on it, and I did, and I think it kind of burnt me out for this past week because I didn't stitch a whole lot this past week, but it was a lot of fun. And I Canadianized it, or am Canadianizing it as I go. So the eagles are coming out. The flag is becoming Canadian flag. I think I'm just this eagle obviously is not going to be replaced by anything. This one and this one will probably be replaced by more poppies. I actually found someone had done it, and I forgot to write down the name, and had taken the eagles that it was British flags she had done and replaced these two with poppies. So I'll probably just follow along by hers on which ones she put where. And I also have told you that I want to change the We Will Always Remember to In Flanders Fields. That'll be at the end if I have the nerve to do it and the idea to do it. She actually changed it too to it wasn't In Flanders Field. It was, I think it was They Shall Not Grow Old, possibly. Which is a line from In Flanders. So I I may take that from her and do that, but right now I'm thinking in Flanders Fields. We'll see. So it is stitched 1/2 on 36 count, and it's just called blue gray linen. And here is where we are. So I'm actually very happy with where I got. I got all of this side done down to the last thing I did was part of this poppy here. That one there. And I got the first quarter-ish of the house and the flag, which is from Lizzie Kate, actually, and I will link that below. And it is her alternative flag to Land That I Love, and it's a freebie from her. And it's not real easy to find because a friend was asking me where I got it, and I had to search around for it, so I will go back to where I found it and link that. And I was talking about the Nash Stash Start-a-thon. So Lindy Stitches is doing a new virtual crop on the first weekend of May. It's called the Spring Fling, I think. I'll link that below if you're interested in getting a ticket. I know a lot of Canadians are at Stitch North that weekend, but if you're not going there, if you're not Canadian or not going to Stitch North, wherever you're from, and are looking for some stitchers to chat along with, I'll link the Spring Fling. I know it's $12 to get in, $12 US for the registration fee, and there is a exclusive class with Kathy Haberman too. It's a PDF, so you don't get a kit. You have to kit it up yourself, and that's an extra cost. I know that. And there's some exclusive patterns from Pigeon Coop is going to be there, I know. And I know there's 2 more, and I can't get their names off the top of my head, but you'll find it all out from the link that I put down below. And then finally, this week I started Arctic Blast by Carolyn Manning, and this is a freebie from her Facebook group, which I'll also link when I get a chance to sit down and do all the links I have to do. It's my first Carolyn Manning. That was my first Plum Street. I'm doing lots of firsts this year. So I'm stitching it 2/2 on white even weave. This even weave came from Millions of Stitches on Etsy. I've ordered from them before, and I've ordered fabric from them before, and I've always really liked it. This was a pre-cut, like packaged fabric, which I should have known wouldn't have been as nice. It's a bit on the crunchy side. I'm surviving it. It's getting softer as I'm using it, but yeah, it's not my favorite that I've ever stitched on. This went into Pattern Keeper, which was great, and of course I didn't write down what percentage I got to, but I think it's only like 2 point something, and this is where I got. So this is, well, lighting. This is the halfway mark of the pattern across the top. So I just picked the first color in the corner and just started stitching across the first blocks. And so that's probably what I'm gonna do when I get across the blocks with this color, is pick the next one, whichever one is here, and do it block by block, and that'll be the easiest way to follow. My lighting has gone really dark all of a sudden. Sorry about that. Oh, maybe that's better again. So, yep. So far, it's been a lot of fun. And I think I have like 200 and something, 300 and something stitches in just to get it started. And then just finally for this little portion, next up on Wednesday, it's going to be Season's Greeting by Emma Condon, Stitch Rovia. First time I'm stitching one of her patterns. I found this in a magazine that I bought from the thrift store, but it was starting to fall apart. So I went in on Etsy and found it there and downloaded it, and it went into Pattern Keeper as well. The only thing I should say, if you like this, if you think and you're interested in downloading that and putting it in Pattern Keeper, when I went to decide where I was going to start, because I'm not doing a corner start and I'm not doing a center start, I decided to just do a top middle start. when I looked at the color in Pattern Keeper, it said that this was 1, which is not. It is 3847, I think, or 3849, whichever. Dark teal gray. When I looked at the legend on the side, the symbol for this one and the symbol for 1, which is like this light gray that the snowflake is, are almost exactly the same. They're both an up arrow in a square. One is open, one is colored in. They were flipped on the legend, so I could go in and edit and just change them around, but just for a heads up if anyone ever downloads and puts this in Pattern Keeper. And I don't know if it was a Pattern Keeper thing or if it was the original pattern thing. I don't think it was a me thing because all you do is upload, and I'm just stitching this on a white even weave 28 count. And that is all. Oh, dropped the pattern, sorry. That is all the stitching that I've worked on and the stitching for this coming week. Now I have a couple of things to show you that I've made, and Happy Mail, and my upcoming May starts. That's what's left, and maybe a thank you from you guys. So just the things I made, which are very basic things. I made a new project bag. This fabric I actually got at the dollar store. They had some bundles. The Harry Potter stuff that I've made a bag out of came in a bundle from the dollar store. This one did too, and I thought it was so pretty. Although I'm not a yellow fan. Thread. It's flowers, so I like that. So my bags are very simple. If you want to know, if anyone asks, I follow Helen D's tutorial. Now, a few videos ago, a month or two ago, she said that she watched Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch, and she thought hers were easier than her own. I find Helen's really easy. It's just, you know, a strip of fabric and the same pattern, and then I line mine with just, it's broadcloth, you know, it's cheap, which is fine with me, and my zipper. And I don't have an issue with her tutorial. If you like full fabric. I don't like vinyl bags. All of mine are all full fabric. And then I made some needle minders. Just a few. I make my needle minders. I bought a little plastic container of the magnets on Amazon. They're just a little round ones like that. And my glue, which is leaking, is Gorilla Glue, but it's got like a brush, like a nail polish brush in it, so it's really easy to get it on the magnets, except when it leaks, because it's not screwed on tight. And just put the glue on the magnet, sit it on whatever it's going on, and just let it dry. So this one is, they're all pins, like pinning your clothes pins, except, yeah, they all were. Let me see. This one is the Jays Cares Foundation. This is one my son got because he takes part in Challenger Baseball, and it's sponsored by the Jays Cares, and we're Blue Jays fans, so I thought that would make a cute needle minder. This one I have no idea where it came from, but it was in a drawer, and it's just a little butterfly. That. And they're all going to stick together, and this one was in a drawer of my room. Years ago, I sold close to my heart scrapbooking and stamping supplies, dark sales, and I went to a convention in Disney World, and when I signed up to go, they sent that pin that said Destination Orlando. I made that into a needle minder. And then also in my son's drawer was this. It's made out of clay, and he got it in elementary school. I don't think they made it in class. I think someone's parent or grandparent made it for them for Remembrance Day, and it had like a pin glued on the back, but it came off and it was just sitting in the drawer. So I turned that into a needle minder too. So that's the things I made. And just give me 1 second. I got a little bit of glue on my hands. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. The last thing I want to do is end up with glue on some cross-stitch fabric, so I had to go and wash my hands, get that off. So next I'm going to show you my May starts. I did a little preview video, and for if you're new, every month I do on the first of the month a preview for the following month's starts, and it's just here's my project and this is what I'm starting it. In case anyone would like to join me with a start along or a stitch along, gives you a month's notice or more to get your pattern and fabric and things organized. And then the last video in the month ahead of time, so like this is the last video I will do before May, I go into more details about the fabric and threads that I'm using. Oh, that makes sense. So my first start in May will be Bent Creek's Autumn Row. I've had this one for a while. You can probably tell because it was only $7. And I have the summer one, I think it's summer, with the sandcastles and the beachy stuff done. And I also have the winter one in my stash. I don't have the spring one, but I will probably invest in it, you know, by the time I get to winter, so I can have all 4 of them done. But I couldn't find a piece of fabric in, well, obviously this pattern is quite old, and it calls for Amber by Witchell. But I usually order like fabric from Gita's or Embroidery Marketplace. Those, and I couldn't find anything that I liked, so I just ordered a white, and then I got my Rit dye out, and the other day I dyed it. Now this one does not have as much of a modeling as I normally put in my, because I didn't want it modeled. So here's what okay, there was a thread or something there. Here's what I ended up with, and it is a mixture of tan and golden yellow. That's what it is, and so that's what I got, and I don't think it turned out too badly for a match. I know the picture is very tiny, but I think it turned out pretty good. And I'm just using the DMC that it calls for, not the specialty ones, because I know that the summer one, which I did a few years ago, is done with the DMC. I'm just trying to get them. So there we go. I think it will look pretty good when I get it started. Then the next start I have for May is my birthday start on the 11th, and I'm doing it different. I have 3 starts because obviously there's not 55 starts in 55 weeks in the year. I have 3 that I have to fit in, so I'm doing one my birthday, one my son's birthday, and one on Christmas Day. So they're gonna be different because they don't fall on the Wednesdays that I normally start, because the 1st of January was a Wednesday, so I go Wednesday to Tuesday, my week on each new start, and then they go in my whip pile, and if I finish one like in less than a week, then I will spin my wheel and work on something on my whip pile list. But because my birthday falls on Sunday, Mother's Day, I don't want to just have a day on it. So I'm actually going to work on that one Sunday to Saturday. So I'm actually going to have a start on Wednesday, a start on Sunday, a new start on Wednesday, and finish the other one on Saturday, if that makes any sense. So I'm actually going to, two new starts are going to mix in with this new start. I hope that makes sense. It makes sense up here, and I guess that's all that matters. So anyway, my birthday start is, and I'm sure anybody who's watched me for a while will know, get the picture that doesn't show the pattern, because I know there is one here. 'Tis the Season by Blackbird Designs, and it's from the Home for the Holidays book, and I have 4 people stitching with me. Amy from Renewing Stitches, and my friend Michelle, who is the Red Dirt Stitcher on Instagram, are both starting with me, as is Lisa, who is lisadrhc on Instagram. They are all starting with me, and Stephanie Wingit.1 on Instagram is working on it as a whip now, but she says that she will stitch along with us and hopefully get hers finished that week, which would be really cool. So I am stitching mine on 32 count stone gray Belfast linen, which is this, and I picked only one. It calls for silks, and just with my budget of starting 55 things, I could not just justify all those silks. So when I was at Gita's in June, I picked out Threadworks, and it's 1089, and that is going to be for the cardinal. And then the others, I sat down with my tablet and my phone and worked through the silk colors, and found classic color works that work with them, or I thought they were a good match. So I'm doing Mariner's Compass, I'm doing Baking Tin, I am doing English Ivy, and I'm doing Pea Pod, doing Candy Corn, and Khaki Mocha for the others. And I think they were all a pretty good match, and I think it's gonna look pretty good on that. So I can't wait to get started. One side. Then we are doing For You by Teresa Kogut, and this was a chart I won from Helen D 2, maybe even 3 years ago. And it is being stitched on 28 count taupe linen. Oh, here we are. And I am using called for threads, which include, I think there is some DMC in it. Let me just check. Yes, there is DMC, and there are also with Dyeworks Indian Summer, Palomino, and Rum Raisin. So those are going to go on that, along with GMC 822, 644, 3782, 3032, and 310. So that is that one. Next up is from a magazine, from Cross Stitch, Leisure Arts magazine, Cross Stitch. I'm doing this piece that is on the cover, which is called Woodland Peace, which I'm very excited to do too. And I am doing it on a 28 count natural linen, and I am using a DMC variegated 115. I know I've heard that the variegation takes a while in the DMC to change, but I think it will be okay. And I got 2, so hopefully that will be enough to complete the whole piece. Let's see. And then finally, my last piece for May is a fun piece. And it is from the Nerdy Needle Design Co. on Etsy, and it is a TARDIS. It's pinks and purples. I'm using the DMC, and I'm just stitching it on a white Monaco because it's just going to be a fun little piece to stitch on. And those are my starts for May. My goodness. Looking forward to getting going with those. And then I guess finally I have Happy Mail. A couple pieces of Happy Mail came, which is always exciting and never expected. First up is from Carmen Charles. She's on Instagram. She's Carmen de Jong Charles, I believe it is. I'll list them. I don't know if I can link Instagram, but I'll list all of the people that I talked about. She sent me a birthday card early. And Carmen is my partner in crime in this hashtag 55 and 25 for 55. And she and I have been doing our 55 starts for this year, and having lots of fun seeing what each other is starting. We haven't actually connected with a piece, but we're doing some similar designers at different times, but that's it. So she sent me a birthday card, and inside the birthday card it's a little baggie of stuff. She actually found me my buttons that I needed for Fleur de Lis, and I actually bought them as well. So I have 2 sets. So if anybody needs any mini maple leaves, the red and the yellow one. But it was so sweet of her. She went and her LNS had them, and then I also connected with a store, and they sent them to me as well. But that's it. It's only 2 little buttons. That's fine. And she also sent me some floss rings that she made herself. Look, isn't that pretty? And it has a little key with a flower charm on it. So pretty. And I've been waiting to use them, but I've been keeping them to show you guys. And then she sent me this one. It's like a kaleidoscope with a little, this one has a little flower charm. Hope you guys can see that okay. Pretty. They're so pretty. And a pair of scissors. She told me that they were her favorites, and I forgot, Carmen, there's no name on them. You didn't tell me who the manufacturer, but look at that point. I haven't used them yet, because if I try to use them, they could end up anywhere in this room, but I wanted to hold on to them until I talk to you guys. And I'm excited to use those. So that was from Carmen. And the rest came from a very dear friend, and she wanted to stay anonymous, so she will. I got a mailbox, and like she said, she had gone through patterns and decided on some that she didn't want to stitch, or someone had passed them on to her and that she didn't think she would stitch them. So she passed them on to me to either stitch myself or pass on to you guys. I haven't really, because I have all my starts for this year decided, I haven't gone through them and said, yes, I'm stitching that, because I'm going to wait until, there are a couple that I know I definitely won't stitch, and they're in my giveaway bin. But like, that's what I thought. And then she said, have you ever stitched on 40 count fabric? Sorry about the crinkles. And I said, no, I've never tried it. So she said, I'll send you a piece for you to try. She sent me 3 pieces. I don't know that I will be able to stitch on it. If not, they will go in my giveaway bin as well. But I haven't even picked out a pattern to try on one of them. That will happen next year. But, which is my favorite of the 3 of them. They're Fox and Rabbit. Fabric of the month. Oh. I'll show you the back. And then there's this one, which is like a pink with gray. And then there's a bright orange, which is also really cool for a fall stitch. But there's that. Then I got, if you can believe this, in the bag was a project bag with a little accessory pouch. there was this project bag with an accessory pouch and a floss bed. And then there was, and I'm not going to go through them with you guys because the video would be like 2 hours. Thank you so much. You know who you are, and you know how much I appreciate and love that you thought of me. But in the pile, there was one pattern that I have. So I am going to give that one away because it is the only double in the whole pile. And it is Snow Time by Cottage Garden Samplings. And this is the 4th piece I'm doing in the Time for All Seasons. And so since I already have that, and I know I'm stitching it anyway, I'm going to offer it as a thank you to my subscribers. So in order to enter, use the word snow, not something none of us want to talk about, but use the word snow in your comment, and I will choose a winner out of the comments for my next video. And that's it, I think. And so have a happy Easter to anyone who celebrates, and I'll see you guys again in a couple of weeks. Bye. Hi guys, Editing Deanne here. I forgot to tell you the rules for the giveaway, which I know you all know, but I still felt like I should add them in here anyway. So you know, please be a subscriber and like the video. I'd really appreciate if you did those things. You have to be over 18 to give me your address, and don't use the bot words, giveaway, prize, freebie, you know the drill. All right, thanks.